Tune in to the Diva Hustle Show.
Hey, you guys, thanks for tuning in to the Diva Hustle Show. Today, our guest is Fairlane, and she is the founder and CEO of Asian Entertainment and Culture. Thank you, Fairlane, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, for people that are not familiar with you, can you just tell me a little bit about your background and your journey that led up to creating an Asian Entertainment and Culture?
Sure. I moved to the US about 10 years ago, and it was because I wanted to pursue writing. Somewhere along the way, being an immigrant, things happen. I guess I had to rechannel my priorities a bit. And the other thing that I discovered about the US is that everything takes so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything takes so long, from movies to here's my dog. He wants
Hi.
he wants to participate. Um okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I was going to I actually had a book contract, but things were going so slow. Also, it was starting to go towards a direction that I didn't like.
Mhm.
So I decided I was just going to do my own thing. And so about maybe 2018, 2019, I started a YouTube channel. It was on and off. And one of the main things that I wanted to do was to help other artists come to the US and sort of just tap into a wider market, basically, but also avoid the compromises that I had to make
Right.
just to be able to get their art out. So I just wanted to really highlight different artworks, different artists, different songs, movies from Asia.
Right.
But in the beginning, it was on and off. I was also trying to establish myself here. And it wasn't until maybe a year or two ago when things started picking up. And I also became more consistent in uploading new contents. And from there, I think still am in the process of developing a really vibrant community that really love Asian culture. And so they encouraged me and said, why don't you just create an independent publication, an independent media company in the US that would be focused in raising awareness and advancing Asian literature and Asian entertainment and Asian culture. So that's what I ended up doing. I felt like I got the one thing that many business people are trying to do, and that is to capture a specific market, and I have it. So that's how it started. And I guess it also is perfect timing because I'm about to launch the very first graphic novel NFT that is focused on Asian mythology, which is called Aswan.
Okay.
So hopefully it'll come out before the end of the year.
So how do you navigate the diversity while focusing on entertainment and culture through your company?
I think, well, one is that I don't really focus on the race. I don't focus on the country. I just focus on the work.
Right.
And I think I realized that when you do that, it's easier for people to appreciate what you're doing, and it's easier for people to find something in common with you.
Right.
Because I think all of us, we just love art, we love entertainment, we love having a community. So if you focus on that and you just sort of not really ignore, but don't highlight the things that could potentially divide people,
Right.
it's an easier route.
And so I know that when you're starting a business, it's never easy. What are some challenges that you have faced in the beginning, and how did you overcome them?
Well, funding is the very first thing. I do have a full-time job,
Right.
and I have a business on the side. So focusing on this, the one thing that I was struggling with is, why would I continue doing something that wasn't really yielding income when I could just refocus my time on my work and the business that's making money, and I'm going to be more comfortable.
Right.
And I think in the beginning, and I think I'm blessed to have the luxury of that choice. I told myself, okay, this is just going to be a passion project. And if it doesn't make money at all, then that's fine. if it means I need to lose money in the long term, that's fine, for as long as I get to do something good, some sort of a legacy in my own little way. So when I surrendered to that, it became easier, because then I realized, okay, so I can ask for funding from certain sources. I can, I can look for ways on how to get better ads. So I guess that first is acceptance, and then once you settle into that, it's easier for you to find ways on how to find funding.
Right. It's like once you start living in your purpose, you start listening to your inner voice, that your intuition, and things just start lining up.
Yes. Yeah. But it's also important to note that I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not have a regular source of income.
Right.
Because I do have a family, I support my family. So that's also very important to me. So I guess getting all of those things in order first kind of helped.
Right. And so what are some landmark moments that you had experienced since you started your business?
One is, well, number one was I think about 2 years, maybe it was 2 years ago. Getting canceled was the number one milestone, I think. There was this, I just did this one video, I was reviewing something, and I said something that was misinterpreted by a lot of people.
Okay.
And it was the very first, because it was never really my intention. So I think it was the very first time that I got to also get to know myself, get to know how I can react to certain situations. And it led me to really think about how I communicate with other people and how I could respond in instances like that. So that taught me a lot. Second was that after that, so I took a rest because I wanted to sort of think about things, not just on that business, but on other things in my life. The second milestone was when I guess I hit, I think it was my 15,000 subscriber. And on that, right around that time, it was also the first time where I witnessed a really healthy discussion about a certain topic that I posted on my channel. And it wasn't at all everybody agreeing on the same thing. It was people expressing their thoughts, expressing their opinions, even though they were opposing opinions, but they weren't fighting. And I think I almost wanted to give myself credit for being a part of a community that nurtures this kind of conversation. And from that, I think it was a regular viewer of my channel who suggested, hey, why don't you take this more seriously now? Because you have this community that are willing to converse. Why don't you do it? So that's the second part. And the third part was when I first got my very first funding. And it was from a very unexpected place. It was just somebody who sent me a donation and said, I heard that you wanted to start something and that you were struggling with funding. Maybe this can start you off. Wow. And he didn't even, he didn't even ask for anything in return. Wow. It was just, he didn't even want to be mentioned, to be thanked. So I thought, oh, okay, if somebody can believe in me to the extent that they will hand me funding, for nothing else in exchange but to pursue what I started, then maybe this really has something, that I have a future in this. Right.
And so now that we're in the digital age, how has technology played a role in your business and operating of your company?
Well, it's really started everything. Had it not been for technology, I wouldn't even be able to start it. Or maybe I will be able to start it, but it would be totally different thing. So my channel started with YouTube. It started in YouTube. It's still on YouTube. And from there, I discovered so many other things. I discovered metaverse. I discovered NFTs. I discovered how to use email marketing. So I think the one thing that it helped me with is the connection that I can make to different people from different parts of the world. And it's so unexpected that even people from countries you barely hear of would actually connect with you and would, devote some time to just email you and say, hey, you're doing a good job, please continue, because I'm a regular subscriber.
Right.
That has been the primary thing, connection. And I think that's the foundation of the entire business. It's not even money.
Right.
It was just the connection that I make. And it's all possible because of technology.
And so where do you see the future of the Asian entertainment and culture? And if you're working on any upcoming projects or initiative that you'd like to share?
Yeah. The future, I really think that eventually the big vision is to become the Rolling Stone or the enemy of Asian entertainment.
Okay.
Those are big publications that I admire. I constantly read about them or read them. So I think that's the direction that I wanted to go. A combination of that and Grammys.
Okay.
In that Grammys actually help push the Western music industry, right? And they support Western artists. I'd like to be able to do that for Asian artists. I think it'll be a first because you're either a foundation that pushes artists and art or a foundation that reports about entertainment and art. I'd like to be a combination of that. That's where I think it is going. I think in about 10 years, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah. And upcoming projects, well, the very first big project that I actually wanted to launch was to create a metaverse of Asian mythological creatures.
Okay.
So that people will not just read about them because they're very interesting. You don't just read about them, you don't just hear about them, but you can actually see and experience it in the digital world, of course.
Right.
So we're picking out about 500 mythological creatures from different Asian countries. We'll create a metaverse for them so you can see how they look like, see their world, actually talk with them, ask them how they started, their origins and stuff like that. And yeah, so that I wish to also finish by the end of the year.
Oh, that sounds nice. I can't wait for that to come out.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm also excited.
Yes. And what advice would you give to people that are aspiring to become entrepreneurs and who are looking to make their own mark in the entertainment and culture field?
Well, one, just start it. Whatever it is that you want to do, just get started. A lot of the times we all have great ideas and we're stuck in planning it. We're also, second, don't be scared to make mistakes.
Right.
I've really never met anybody who's made such a huge mistake in their life that have never recovered. I think everyone who has made a mistake and has actually devoted time in trying to think about it and recover from it and learn from it, they've all recovered. So that's the second. And third is that remember that no matter how passionate you are at something, you do have basic needs. So if you want to go your passion undisturbed, make sure first that your basic needs are met so that you don't need to compromise anything.
Right. That is key. And if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to get in contact?
Well, you can always go to my YouTube channel. If you search Asian entertainment and culture, I do respond to as many comments as I can. And then I do have a Twitter account. I am Fairlane. Okay. You can follow me there, DM me there. And you can also just email me info@asianeac.com.
All right. Well, thanks, Fairlane, for stopping past. It was a pleasure talking with you and hearing your story and your journey. And, anytime you want to come back, you're always more than welcome.
Thank you, Paris. And this is my dog.
Hi. Dog name?
His name is Diva.
Diva.
It's a Korean for awesome.
Oh, he's adorable. And he's so mild-mannered.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tune in to the Diva Hot Show. Motivate the glow. We get you more info. Think to my head to toe. I let the whole world know.